Got another game here. This one from Curio versus Loki. Lizardman versus Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay going with Celestial Dragon Guard, crossbows, and Zetang. For the unfortunate Lord that is about to get sniped, we do have Mazda Mundi with an impressive missile resistance and his self-heal, though. Oh, that is too many spells, my friend. He has 4 spells on Mazda. That's a pretty expensive guy. We also have some skink skirmishers, skink cohorts, skink red crested skinks, skink cohorts with javelins, including the cohort of Sotek red crested skink ROR. We have 1 feral bastillodon and some ripperdactyl riders, 4 of them in the vanguard. On the other side for Grand Cathay, Empress Croman, and then a Dragonblood Ashugan Lord of Yin with the Ancestral Warrior Summon and Blossom Wind. Front line of Jade Warriors backed up by Jade Warrior crossbows and Celestial Dragon crossbows and a Crane Gunner and Zetang. So a lot of shooting for very little front line. Some Peasant Horsemen to do extra peeling where they can. Maz is casting some sort of spell. He is going to heal himself, and there is a Comet onto the Jade Warrior crossbows. Unfortunately, one of the 2 cheaper crossbow options, though they all have the same icon, so I doubt he even knows those are Celestial Dragon crossbows. Ruination of Cities out onto another Jade Warrior crossbow. So again, not on the expensive ones that he probably doesn't know are expensive ones. Ripperdactyl's going with the flank attack on the already wounded crossbows, close to routing them, and they're just taking out the Crane Gunners flat out. Celestial Dragon crossbows also in a lot of damage, so good vanguard from the Lizardmen coming in clutch. But Mazda Mundi's having a tough time staying alive. He's already burned a heal on himself, and he had to run away from the Ancestral Warriors, because if they touch him, they're going to frostbite him, and then he's certainly doomed. Zetang and these Jade Warrior crossbows are just slapping him, though. Cold-blooded tries to stop him from routing. It's not going to be enough. He's taking too much shock damage too quickly, and he is out of there. Speaking of out of there, most of Grand Cathay's ranged. Jade Warrior crossbow already shattered, and then a Crane Gunner, a Celestial Dragon crossbow, both routing. So that's pretty rough. I'd definitely rather be Cathay than the Lizardmen in that trade. You know, losing your Lord and Caster this early into the game versus losing a lot at ranged, but Lizardmen are making him pay for it. One of the Ripperdactyls, however, is going to die in the exchange. Other Rippers just chasing people off the map. So we had 4 Ripperdactyls. I see 2 with very positive health bars. I saw 1 literally die, so where's the 4th one? Skink skirmishers are returning to the fight. Skink cohorts are getting into the fight. They're just pulling up. Looks like one of our Ripperdactyls might have died while I was talking about Mazda, because I just don't see that 3rd little bat flag going on. Red Crested Skinks breaching the front line, because there wasn't much of a front line to really breach, and a Blossom Wind goes through this tightly packed Skink Horde Javelin. Let's see the damage. It's middling. Fair enough. So the Skink cohorts are routing. Ripperdactyls chasing off the routed ranged units, trying to make sure they don't come back. Peasant Horsemen threatening to charge them, which I'm sure the Ripperdactyls are like, oh no, don't charge us, you very scary Peasant Horsemen. Leave us alone. We're so frightened. Okay, we're just going to fly over you now. Skink skirmishers and skink cohorts with javelins are back. They could offer some good supporting fire as the Empress Croman try and chase off the other skink skirmishers. Looks like these skink skirmishers are going to go into melee and slow the Jade Warrior crossbows down for the Ripperdactyls to dive in onto them. Elsewhere, Zetang is now fighting in melee. His Lord sniping job is done, and now he's just a big terror boy who flies around and does cool animations that don't do that much damage in melee. Ripperdactyl's still the undisputed king of the flanks, as anybody who is not a part of the main fight is getting picked off by those guys. Peasant Horsemen are not up to the task of killing them, and the Celestial Dragon crossbows are obviously too weak to defend themselves. Okay, Lizardmen down on the balance of power, still missing their Lord. We do have some early terror routes coming out from them that they might have previously been able to weather. But all in all, things not going too bad, considering how early they lost that Lord. And Zetang is a massive balance of power sink. Considering how chaotic this fight has gotten and how useless he's going to be unless things spread out again, the balance of power should be more in the Lizardmen's favor than it is right now, just because of how much ammunition Zetang has and he isn't going to be able to use effectively. Does rip a shot at the Ripperdactyls, hits one of them on their way through to hit the Celestial Dragon crossbows. Other Celestial Dragon crossbows also rallied in the distance. Ripperdactyls just kind of got tired of chasing that unit at this point. We have some shatters coming in from Cathay. Jade Warriors and Peasant Longspears still rallying to fight near the Bastillodon, which I love this Bastillodon's color. Little turquoise plates. Love it. Big fan. This is actually kind of a sick Lizardmen color scheme. Green and more green, which is very Human Boy coded. I like green. Green's my favorite color. Peasant Horsemen fighting the cohort of Zetang and a Bastiladon now. Things are looking a little dire, and they do terror out in response. I think we have a second Ancestral Warrior summon that still could come out at some point, which could be an issue for the Lizards. We'll have to see, but the bounce power is stabilized for them. And Ripperdactyls still living their best life, still chasing everybody down. The Emperor's Crowmen might try and challenge them here. They'll lose just because they're so down in HP, but you could at least guarantee some damage that you know the Ripperdactyls can't just fly away from, and they definitely can't heal. As Zetang is chasing around the other ones, he also probably needs to go back into ranged mode and fire at Ripperdactyls whenever he can. Force them to engage in him in melee with some spears nearby or something. I don't know. They can't just keep following the Ripperdactyls around. Like, that was a nasty shot. Somebody's got to stop Zetang from doing exactly that. As the Emperor's Crowmen look like they were about to Demonic Instability crumble, they will not. The other Ripperdactyls charge into the rallied Celestial Dragon crossbows, but that does make them easy pickings for Zetang to keep sniping out individual models. The Lizardmen do have to harass Zetang. They have to keep him on the back foot and stop him from firing, because if he's allowed to fire, then that balance of power is very justified. Then the Lizardmen are pretty fucked if Zetang can just keep shooting at Ripperdactyls like this. Another huge shot. Someone get on that Zetang! All right, they're starting to now. The Ripperdactyls have noticed, though. Honestly, skink cohorts could be joining in the fun. Celestial Dragon crossbows have made their way from all the way up on the sandy hill down to the gullies, where they can actually get some shots out. But one of their two very healthy Ripperdactyls has been almost entirely deleted by Zetang, shooting them in the side. So a pretty big blunder from the Lizardmen in the late game could cost them everything. We have some rallying skinks, we have some rallying Jade Warriors and Peasants. That's about it. Red Crest Skinks fighting next to Ripperdactyls on top of Zetang, who is trying to leverage his super sick animations into some terror routes. It looks like that does sort of happen, as the Ripperdactyls briefly charge Jade Warriors to push them away. But are they going to get shot in the back for free? They are. Ignore the Jade Warriors. You need to keep on Zetang. Stop, 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 stop. Get Zetang. Stop, 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 stop. Don't let him shoot you again. Are you actually going back towards Zetang, or are you just chasing the Jade Warriors and knock away? They're actually going back towards Zetang, but he does rip a second shot and gets big damage. Ooh, and then he hits his melee attack too. Damn, the Ripperdactyls kind of fucked that one up. They're going to pay the price. Elsewhere, skinks are still chasing down things that are starting to shatter. The Feral Bastiladon is making his way towards Zetang. Where's the Dragonblood Ashugan Lord of Yin? She's still chasing the other Ripperdactyl to make sure it doesn't come back. Fair enough. Okay. I'm very concerned for Lizardmen's chances now, but we'll see. Still have unbreakable skinks, 41 of those guys. Other skink cohorts that could route. Ripperdactyl's currently terror routing. And unless the Bastiladon interrupts him, Zetang's going to rip a shot at those guys as they flee and probably take them out of the game for good, but does not seem to be the case, as he's going to get distracted by the little Bastiladon that can, and the red crested skinks that are coming up behind him. Neat. The Yin Lord is back. She still has an Ancestral Warrior summon if she has the Winds of Magic for it. I don't know how many Blossom Winds she was casting. I caught like 3, I think I saw across the screen. Zetang throws on guard mode, rips a shot at the Ripperdactyls, and does send them fleeing. We have some decently healthy skinks still chasing off Celestial Dragon crossbows, and other decently healthy skinks currently just trying to rest and get their stats back, it appears. There is the Ancestral Warrior summon. However, will it be enough balance power to just tip as an army losses? No, but it is a big chunk. And they jump out with the Yin Lord herself charging in. This is pretty bad for the Lizards. Cohort of Zetang going to get chopped up. Feral Bastiladon going to take a lot of damage from the halberds as well. This is just pretty bad overall. Eek. Bastiladon trying to chase through the halberds. Is going after Zetang, who's trying to buy some space so he can stop and shoot at the Bastiladon for a little bit. Fair enough. And it looks like they're trying to chase the Bastiladon, not finish off the Cohort of Zetang, which might be a mistake. I mean, Cohort of Zetang can be hard to clear out for Zetang. The Bastiladon got away from you a little bit. I don't know. I would just kill what you can kill. Cohort of Zetang still hanging in there. Other skinks returning to the fight after chasing off stuff. Everything's been shattered for Cathay except for the Ancestral Warriors and obviously the 2 big single entities. Feral Bastiladon is going to path away from Zetang, who somehow misses a rear charge attack on him, so rip. Blossom Wind entirely misses the skink cohorts that were moving forward. Zetang is now going to take this time that the Ancestral Warriors buy him to just shoot the Feral Bastildon for some guaranteed hits. Pretty smart. The Dragonblader Shugenin Lord, it needs to get away from the red-crested skinks. It looks like she's having a very tough time dealing with them. Ancestral Warriors have faded. Zetang's not going to get the time for another shot, so he is just going to fight the Feral Bastildon in melee along with the Dragonblader Shugenin Lord. Balance of power reverts back towards the middle. Not quite there yet, but when the Ancestral Warriors faded, it helped the balance of power a lot for the Lizardmen. There goes the Bastildon, though. That's pretty bad. Court of Sotek still 30 models, 500 HP, and they're chipping away at Zetang's heals. Zetang turns. He's going to try and path through them, it looks like. I don't know where he's going. Oh, he's trying to attack the skinks and get a charge attack. Try to trigger an animation like that. Good tear out. And the other skinks are honestly so low, they're going to tear out as soon as they come in range of Zetang. And they're trying to run away. They're not going to make it, however. That's a lot of Lizardmen routing. Ripperdactyl's trying to chase the Dragonblader Shugenin Lord of Yin, but she kills the Bastildon outright. And there's that terror route we mentioned on the top side. So Ripperdactyls maybe find a pick onto the Yin Lord. They are getting decent damage down if they can just hold their leadership together. They're actually kicking her ass in melee. You see that leadership starting to falter already. Their HP bar was blinking. They got 500 damage off of her and take very little in response. Another Blossom Wind misses at this point in the game. That's unforgivable. I know it has a crazy long wind-up time, which is generally why it's not considered a good spell. So, half missed, half dodge, whatever you want to call it, but those need to be hitting at this critical juncture. Another terror route out on the Skink Cohort. If it turns into a natural route, he's probably just going to go for like cycle routing them until they all shatter off. Ripperdactyl's down to 2 leadership as they get closer to Zetang, who is a stronger enemy nearby or something. Exhaustion, friends routing. Okay, they get back into melee with the Yin Lord, doing a lot of good damage as Zetang stops to fire a shot in Skink cohorts. Ripperdactyls actually take some nasty shots from the Shugenin Lord this time, though. She's not going down without a fight. As they're trading, like, honestly, blow for blow. The Ripperdactyls still have the 200 HP lead they had at the start of this fight, but both sides are going to rout, leaving Zetang to just fight the Court of Sotek on his own. Lizardmen are routing everywhere except for these jab skinks that are out of jabs. But Zetang cannot stand up to the Court of Sotek all alone. He's just way too bad at fighting in melee. He did 9 damage with that last attack because they're so disparate. Then he stomps some, gets in there 20 damage out, but he's losing a couple hundred every time we do this. Bounce power goes 50-50 for the Lizardmen. You have some Skink cohorts that are trying just not to rout right now. The Yin Lord is not coming back, it looks like, and Zetang's starting to crumble, which was real bad, as he misses a couple more attacks onto the Court of Sotek. And he did 1 damage to them with that last attack. That's going to be GG. They're just going to rip in pieces. Zetang is an awful melee combatant. He gets a quick charge attack into the Skink cohorts to get a little bit more damage than he usually gets, and maybe to terror out them again, just to do something, hoping his Yin Lord will come back and help him out. Maybe she has another Blossom Wind, or just good charging. Who knows? Zetang's down to 200 HP. It's looking cursed. Balance of power is finally tipping towards the Lizardmen fully for the first time this game since Mazda died. And actually, Zetang got some decent shots in on the Court of Sotek there. For a while, he was getting like 4 damage a hit or something, and then that last sequence, he got like 120 damage off, so that's not bad, but it was too little too late for Loki. And Curio does take it. Mazda got 1,200 value in an honestly incredibly short amount of time, so good for him. Court of Sotek, 2,200 value, definitely the heroes of the game. Jav Skinks did very well. Ripperdactyls did excellently overall. A couple got sniped out, but they did their jobs. On the other side, Dragonblader Shugenin Lord did well. Zetang did well. Peasant Longspears did very well. Jade Lancers, Jade Warriors struggled a bit more. Crossbows all struggled to pay for themselves. I guess one did, but the Ripperdactyls were on top of it. Peasant Horsemen did very well. Onyx Croman did very well. GG's. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.